Hello, welcome to the podcast episode number 3. Here we shall see summary of the book VISTAS of Trust and English. So, have let's understand in a very gist manner the chapter third level. So, hope you enjoy this podcast. Central level, Grand Central Station, New York was 2 level. But Charlie, a 31-year-old resident of New York, he talks about a third level. So there were only 2 levels, but he talks about a third level. He believes in the existence of this hypothetical third level and claims to have been there. Charlie visits a psychiatrist friend to talk about this problem. The psychiatrist poses a waking dream wish fulfillment. I quote once again, a waking dream wish fulfillment, and rationalizes Charlie's experience by saying that the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, worry, and war. Everybody wants to escape a temporary refuge from the reality. According to him, even hobbies like stamp collection, it is a manifestation of this escape. Charlie thinks about his grandfather, who did not need any refuge from reality. He did not resort to any escapism. Charlie's grandfather, he started his collection. He had also fidelity of stamp collection hobby, but he did not see of the psychology problem in the grandfather. The fast-growing Grand Central Station at times seems to be amazing to Charlie. He had lost his way a couple of times earlier too, while taking the subway. But this time, something different happened. Once he entered the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. For the third time, he emerged at an office building that was 3 blocks away. But this time, while the first time he emerged at an office building that was 3 blocks away, but this time, when he loses his way, something unique happens. He visits the third level. Charlie keeps walking in the quiet corridor, angling left and right, and standing downwards. He reaches an architecturally old station that is completely different from the 2 familiar levels. The antiquated small room with fewer ticket counters and train gates, a wooden information booth, flickering open flame, gas lights, and brass spittoons reminded him of the architect of the 1800s, into the 19th century. He also finds that the people are dressed in somewhat outdated outfits. He notices the date of the newspaper, The World. The newspaper named The World is printed June 11, 1894. As he now tenders money to the clerk at the counter to buy 2 tickets, he realizes that he needs to have old currency bills to do so. He always wanted to travel to Gettysburg with his wife. Now his mind begins a and primitive trick. It's a place with long and pleasant vulnerability, and where people each other. So the next evening lunch, he exchanges $300 for London old-style bills, announcing to some 200 only. $300 for London old-style bills, announcing to some 200 only. The work doesn't bother him much. Why? Because he believes that in Gettysburg, everything will be cheaper and that he can manage even with a small amount. It doesn't require much amount. So He could never again find the corridor leading to the third level. So he should take a chance. Now his wife Louisa is worried after knowing all this, asked him not to look for the third level any further. Leave it. Once you're gone, it's okay. Now his friend suddenly Charlie realizes that his friend Sam Rainer is nowhere to be found. He's lost. So he and his wife keep looking for him in the weekends. They think that after listening to him, he has also gone through third level. The field is not just a stamp collection, but a broad term including the study of stamps, but postal history and other related items. When a new stamp is issued, on the first day, people mail a blank paper to themselves and then return that unopened letter with the date on the postmark. Such an envelope is known as first day cover because they want the stamp posted and they send it to themselves. It's called first day cover. Now Charlie has inherited his grandfather's collection of first day covers. One day, while fidgeting, restlessness and carelessly looking with his stamp collection, Charlie comes across a letter that was not there earlier. It bears the postmark on a headed 6-cent stamp with a picture of the president laughing. The envelope was sent on July 18, 1894 to Charlie's grandfather in Gatesburg and was addressed to Charlie. The letter was written by Sam Weiner, who was Charlie's psychiatrist. That way Sam has reached Gatesburg and is having all of time there. He's having a quality time there. He also invites Charles and Louisa, Charlie, to Gatesburg. In that letter it says that when Charlie goes to the stamp and post store, he is surprised to find Sam's exchanging $800 for the all currency bills.
Hope you liked this podcast. Now we shall see the second scene of this podcast, the Tiger King. The summary of the chapter, the Tiger King.
He was called the Tiger King. Now, when he was just 10 years old, he asked intelligent questions to the astrologer and was told that he would be killed by a tiger. So, in response, he uttered, "Let tigers beware. Let tigers be afraid of me." After this, no other miracle took place. The child grew like any other royal child, drinking white cow's milk, taught by an English tutor, looked after by an English nanny, and watched English films. He was like any other royal child, taken care of, brought up with much pamper and love and care. Now, when he was just 20 years, he was crowned as king. At an early age, he became the king. It was then the whisper of the prediction of his death by the tiger, that he would kill by the tiger. This prediction reached Maharaja's ear, and he in turn, to safeguard himself, killed a tiger. And being thrilled, he told the astrologer, who replied that he can kill 99 tigers, but the king should be careful about the 100th one. So the astrologer made him more afraid that you have killed only one tiger, you can kill 99 tigers also, but that 100th tiger would be accountable for his death. From then he started killing the tiger one by one. Nobody was allowed to hunt tigers. It was the sole right of the Maharaja. There was happened once a high-ranking British officer, he visited the state. He was found out hunting tigers and his wish was declined. He was refused to hunt the tiger. The officer requested for getting a photograph with the tiger killed by the Maharaja, and this request was also rejected. Now, it was a very risky thing to make the British people annoyed. So, to please the officers, Maharaja sent the officer's wife 50 diamond rings, expecting that she would take only one or two instead. She kept all the rings, costing round about 3 lakhs rupees, and sent thanks to the Maharaja. Whatever be the thing, ultimately the state was secured. There was no attack from the Britishers, and he was able to diplomatically handle the situation by pleasing the officials. Now, 10 years passed, and he had killed around about 70 tigers, and was not able to find any more in Pratibandhapur. So he decided to marry a girl from the royal state, which had more tigers to complete his target. Whenever he visited his in-laws, he killed 5 to 6 tigers. So he was able to complete like that 99 tigers, and was feverishly anxious to now kill the 100 tiger, because the astrologer had predicted that 100 tiger would be more difficult. He could not find the true news about the presence of a tiger near the village, and he was very disappointed. He was not able to find the 100 tiger. There was scarcity of tigers in his kingdom as well as in-laws. Now the Diwan was warned of this danger, so he visited People's Park in Madras and brought an old tiger, the Diwan. He brought an old tiger, he kept it reserved, and finally placed it in the forest and informed the Maharaja that we are able to find one locket, one tiger more, that is 100 tiger. But the Maharaja was very excited. And the Maharaja, in excitement, he took aim and shot the tiger. He went to the forest and shot the tiger, and left the place with great pride that he had fulfilled his dream, his aspire. The bullet missed the target. The bullet missed the target, and the weak and the old tiger, he became unconscious hearing the sound of the bullet. But the Maharaja was not aware of this fact. Then the hunter, they were afraid when they found that it was not killed, it was living. So the hunter killed the tiger and brought it to grand procession. It was not killed by the Maharaja, but the hunter, when they found that it was not killed, they themselves killed it. Now, it was the third birthday of the Maharaja's son, and he wanted to buy a present from the toy shop. He bought a wooden tiger, which was poorly found. Now, when this junior Maharaja was playing with the toy along with the Maharaja, a tiny silver of the wooden tiger pierced his right hand, pierced the right hand of the Maharaja, and which later got infected and caused him his death. So in this story, we come to know that the 100 tiger takes its final revenge upon the tiger king, and the nemesis, that is the curse through pride.
Hope you liked this podcast summary of the Tiger King. Now we shall see the scene Journey to the End of the Earth, the third chapter of VISTAS, first on English, Journey to the End of the Earth.
The end of the earth, we find the writer Ishani Doshi. He describes the journey to the coldest, driest, and windiest continent in the world, that is Antarctica. 12 bring students on ice program. The students on ice program that aims at taking high school students to the end of the world. So it was Geoff Green's program. Doshi thinks that Antarctica is the place to go and understand the Earth's present, past, and future. Now, in Journey to the End of the Earth, we find that the writer struggles to describe what they had explored of this landmass, which was covered by ice cap of Antarctica. So that surely reveals the vital information about the birth and the evolution of the earth. And the sub-theme is the destruction and the role the school students can play in this gigantic task. The children, that is, the students, can reform or can play a good role in this novel task. It also warns man against too much interference with nature and how excessive encroachment on and dominance over nature is very injurious to the future of mankind. And the threat of global warming is very real. It's not a fake thing, it's not a hype, but we should understand that it's a real thing, it's a real problem. So the scientists continually warn us against the catastrophic effects of excessive depletion of ozone layer. The ozone layer is getting depleted day by day. So judicious use of natural resources is a must if we want to escape the end of the earth. And thus the title of this chapter is most appropriate and true to its meaning.
Hope you enjoyed the podcast, The Journey to the End of the Earth. Now, scene fourth, the enemy. The enemy, chapter of VISTAS, pressed on English.
A Japanese surgeon, he finds a wounded American soldier on the beach near his house. He is unable to throw him back, though he was his enemy. Because these people are Japanese, and that person whom they find is an American. As it was his enemy, but he was a doctor, and his first duty was to save her life. So he was in dilemma. Anna, his wife, though initially reluctant, because it was very dangerous for all, including the children, to keep the enemy in the house, joins her husband in operating and nursing the enemy soldier back to health. Even though the servants, they were much annoyed, they did not like these Japanese helping the American or saving the life of an American as such. So they deserted the house. They left the house, the servants. And assists Dr. Sadao in operating the soldier in spite of physical discomfort and hesitation. Though it was wartime and all hands were needed at the front, the general, he did not send Sadao with the troops. As Sadao was an expert surgeon and the general needed him. Now Sadao tells this general about the enemy soldier, how he had seen an injured prisoner of war, an American. But this general does not take any action, as he is self-absorbed, he is very self-centered, and he is just focused about his own illness. And he forgets his premise that he would send his private assassins in to kill the enemy and remove his body. He'll give the solace that I will send my own assassins to assassinate this enemy. But in the process, he forget the thing because he did not give a try at it. Now, taking advantage of the generous self-absorption, Sadhu himself decides to save the soldier's life. After the soldier is out of danger, Dr. Sadhu helps him to escape him from his house to safety. He provides him a torch and food and other things, and then waves him goodbye and tells the general also about it.
Hope you enjoyed the podcast of the enemy. Now, scene 5 on the face of it. So, listen to podcast summary of on the face of it.
On the face of it, as the title goes, we should not take it for granted. The play depicts beautifully, yet very grimly, the sad world of the physically handicapped people, the physically impaired people. Now, today we have the provision where we make them equal. That is, equity follows. Now, it's not the actual pain or inconvenience caused by physical impairment that the troubled or disabled man, but the attitude of the people around him. How the people around him behaves by seeing his physical deformity. That makes a difference. Two physically impaired people are in the story. Mr. Lamb with a tin leg and Derry with a burnt face. They strike a band of friendship. There is common ground for them to befriend each other. Derry is described as a young boy who is very shy, withdrawn, reserved, and defiant. People tell him inspiring stories to console him, but no one will ever kiss him except his mother, and that too on the other side of the face. When he discusses this thing to Mr. Lamb, who himself had got a broken leg, he tells about a woman telling another woman that how only a mother can love such a face. Now, Mr. Lamb, he revives the almost dead feelings of Denny towards life. He motivates him to think positively about life. He changes his mindset about people and things. So here we find that Mr. Lamb is playing a good role by motivating the child. How a man locked himself as he was scared. A picture fell off the wall and got killed. He tells this story to the child. So when you are not positive, you may suffer and may get killed also. Everything appears to be the same, but is different. Example of bees and the weeds. How he likes to be with the nature. The gate of the garden is always open. So he tells Jerry about his own nature, how he tries to find happiness from the nature. Jerry is inspired and promises to come back, and he leaves Mr. Lamb. Now Jerry's mother, she stops him, but he is adamant, saying that if he does not go now, it would be never. Now when he comes back, he sees a lamb lying on the ground. Now it is ironical that when he searches a new foothold to live happily, he finds Mr. Lamb dead. That is anticlimactic. In this way, the play depicts the heart-rendering life of physically disabled people, people with their loneliness and aloofness and alienation. But at the same time, it's almost a true account of the people who don't let a person live happily.
Hope you enjoyed the podcast summary of the face of it. Now, let's listen to the podcast summary of Memories of Childhood, the last chapter of VISTAS 12th Standard English.
Introduction of Alice in the school. The narrator describes her first day at school. It was very cold and unpleasant as there was a lot of snow around. The entire extract deals with Zitkala Saw's tingling of hair. When she came to this school, she found it a strange place where everything seemed to be mechanical. A very loud and metallic bell rang for breakfast. There was an annoying clatter of feet on the entire bare floor. She is unnerved by this situation because so much of noise. Here she finds that all the girls they have problem with this situation and they were marching towards the dining room after hearing the bell. They have been supervised by a pale-faced woman. Small girls, they wore aprons and had shingled hair. The girls were dressed in cleaning clothes. The breakfast was served and eaten very mechanically. One bell rang for coming, one bell for standing, one bell for prayer, one bell for sitting. So everything was as per the bell. Bell to stand, another to sit, next to pray, another to take breakfast. Everything was mechanical. Now this was very tyrannical to her. It was totally new for the narrator. Her friend Judwin, she wondered that the pale-faced woman was observing, who was supervising, was talking about cutting her long hair. So the friend made her mentally prepared for the situation of getting her hair cut. Now the narrator did not want a haircut. She did not want her hair to be shingled because in her community, shingling of hair was considered as inauspicious and undignified. Only the traitors or cowards or the mourners had their hair shingled. So if her hair was shingled, that means she was either a traitor or a coward or a mourner. Mourner in the sense who had lost somebody near dear ones and they lamented by cutting their hair or getting their hair shingled. Now, though her friend told her that they would have to submit as others were stronger and they have to succumb to the fact of getting their hair shingled, the narrator did not accept it. She decided to struggle and not to submit. She crept upstairs unnoticed and hid herself under the bed in a dark corner. But finally, she was discovered and dragged out. She scratched and kicked but was forcibly taken downstairs and was tied fast to a chair. Ultimately, she was a kid. She was not able to muster enough strength against these people. Her thick braids were cut off, and with this, she lost her spirit. She realized the indignities suffered by her after she was separated from mother. How she was tossed here and there like a wooden puppet and felt humiliated like a coward. She was treated more like an animal and no one came to comfort her. That was her sad story.
The second part of Memories of Childhood, we too are human beings.
Now the second part of Memories of Childhood deals with the title, We Too Are Human Beings. In this story, the pen name of the writer is Bama. Bama, She narrates the experiences of young Dalit schoolgirl in a South Indian village. The narrator had never heard of untouchability being talked about so openly by anyone, so she was never aware of this stigma of the society. She felt experience of this untouchability herself and was humiliated by what she saw. That is, once while coming back from school, she used to spend a lot of time watching the fun and the games and the entertaining novelties, all the oddities of life, the shops in the bazaar on the way. When she was watching all these things, she used to enjoy. She thought the world to be a good place. She used to watch performing monkeys, a man paddling for days. He had never come out of the cycle, the bicycle, and he was paddling for days. The activities at the Mariata temple, the statue of Gandhiji, the sweets, the snacks, the gypsy, and the wild lemurs in cages. She observed all these things while coming from the school towards the home. She used to hear the political parties giving speeches. She saw the puppet show, the street plays, the coffee shops, the fruit trees, and the vendors selling fruits. She saw all that things. She also observed snacks, halwa, and all that ice rollies. Now, once, as I told earlier, when she was seeing all these things, once while on the way, she saw also an interesting scene outside the landlord's house, by which she was very amused. She could not believe her eyes. Here, a threshing floor was set up with the landlords watching the proceedings. Now, people used to make cattle do the threshing. And here, the landlord was doing with the machine. In a town, in a village, people were driving cattle for threshing the corn. Another scene that made her amused or shocked was an elder of her community. He was carrying a big packet in a funny manner, which made her laugh. That man was carrying the packet in a string, as if he should not touch him. And he gave this packet, which contained vadais, VADIS, to the landlord without touching it, and the landlord opened the packet and added the vadais. But he was also very careful that he should not touch this man. Now, Emma, she does not understand why this is happening, why that man is behaving in this manner. She narrates this incident to her brother with all the comic details, the way in which that man was carrying the vadais, the string. But to her surprise, her brother is not at all amused. The narrator is told that the landlord was of upper caste and that touch would pollute the food. And that was the reason that man was holding that food, that vadais, at a distance by the help of a string. This made the narrator sad and angry, and she went outraged at the exploitation. She condemns it as a curse against humanity, that we are too are humans, how they are behaving in this manner. She strongly believes that the community should work and refuse to do these petty errands of getting food and taking it to the landlords. She came to know that despite being so educated, her brother was also questioned about his caste. The brother penetrates her. He shares her that incident when he was on the way, how he was asked about his community, his caste. All the Dalits used to live together in a separate place away from the upper class. Instead of asking caste, they used to ask where these people live, because they live or they stayed in a particular place only. Another brother, he told the narrator that they are not respected or given dignity due to their community. He said that the education is the only way to gain respect. And the narrator was advised to work hard, to study hard, and learn to get respect in the society.